160,000 ounces at, let's call it $3,000 to round it off. You're talking over $400 million of revenue and a free cash flow. They could theoretically pay off all the debts of the company at that point.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is KEFI Gold and Copper Chairman Harry Adams. Harry, very good to speak with you. You're often update on financing for your Tulu Kapi project, and it looks like you're making very good progress.
Yes, I know it appears a long drawn out process to everybody. Well, it is a long drawn out process, but it feels it feels pretty good in the sense that really the key is to have the senior lenders who are putting up two-thirds of the capital for development comfortable to proceed, and we've achieved that. I was clear in their own public statements and private statements at the African convention last week in Cape Town. So our focus has turned to really now scrambling around on the ground and on and the other things you have to do on the equity side to align everything for closing simultaneously. So yes, it is going well, and it took a lot of preparatory work to clear the pathway for this to happen in a country that obviously had a lot of troubles that we didn't expect, and is doing this for the very first time on any project in any industry. So a lot of regulatory changes. So all that's behind us, and we're very happy with how it's going now.
Harry, you also mentioned expressions of interests in the Ethio bonds. Tell us about the Ethio bonds and how they'll form part of the project financing.
Yeah, well, the right from the outset, the company has emphasised its desire to, we use the expression, Ethiopianize as much as possible in ownership, in financing, as well as in management as we get things going. And on that note, we invited the government to be a shareholder some years ago, and that's been done where we have the government as a partner in the Tulu Kapi venture. And now we're inviting institutional investors in Ethiopia, insurance companies in particular, and high net worth officers to invest their local currency, birr, into a gold-linked investment. So it's quite an unusual and perhaps unique opportunity for them to hedge against devaluation of the birr. And that means that the targeted $30 million from local investors, for which we've received expressions of interest, is now moving into the preparations for listing on the newly created Ethiopian Stock Exchange. And that will be by way of private placing to sophisticated investors. It doesn't require a retail prospectus sort of thing. And it's required quite a lot of groundwork to prepare the institutions for the nature of the offering, because it is a first for the country also. But that started last June, those preparations. We were out with our advisors locally, preparing people and grooming them. And we had advisors come down from London to help the regulatory authorities prepare themselves for the Ethio Stock Exchange. So yeah, it's again a bit of innovation, but for two reasons critically important. One is the Ethiopianization ranks the company and its projects as important for the country for alignment and social licensing reasons. And the other reason is that the international stock exchanges for junior miners and explorers has always, for a decade now, really has been quite consistently unsupportive of providing large licks of capital for development. And therefore, we've sort of, if you like, worked hard to both Ethiopianize both for local support reasons, but also to avoid needing to go to the stock market for that development capital. So that's, we have to close it, but I think that will be seen as another feather in our cap in the way we've done it.
Harry, you mentioned that the Ethio bonds are linked to the gold price, and that must look pretty attractive at the moment with gold hovering around $2,900 an ounce, which is also good for the economics of Tulu Kapi.
Yeah, I mean, the ETF bonds themselves, the main thing is for the local investor to hedge against the burr. So the US dollar link is the key. And to the extent that the gold price escalates from where we are today, there's some upside for them as well. But the main thing is that, Ethiopian citizens typically and resident companies are typically not allowed to invest outside Ethiopia. And this provides them an investment inside Ethiopia that provides a hedge against the devaluation of their own currency. That's the uniqueness of it, with a gold kicker if gold runs higher. So it's been designed in a way we have a natural hedge. We will be selling gold in US dollars, so we're naturally hedged. But for them, it's an unusual opportunity to hedge. Yeah, if your question's leading me into the gold price and what it does to the project, I mean, it's huge. It really difficult to overstate its importance because, start the first year production, I think, is 160,000 ounces projected, and 160,000 ounces at, let's call it $3,000 to round it off. You're talking over $400 million of revenue and a free cash flow. They could theoretically pay off all the debts of the company at that point. So it is a very huge opportunity, and the timing couldn't be better for us. So let's hope it hangs in there. Yeah.
Well, Harry, I hope you'll keep us posted on any additional progress at Tulu Kapi. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you for taking the interest.
That's KEFI Gold and Corporate Chairman Harry Adams.